Hey, what's up, guys? Eyes open in California here. So I've kicked it around in my head all day whether I should make a video about my dream last night. And here it is. It's 9:23 p.m. and I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Right. So I had this dream, right? And it was very detailed and it was kind of crazy. So I'll just to accelerate this thing, I'll just tell you the gist of it, right? The first scene, I'm living out in the middle of some rural kind of environment with a whole bunch of people. And the Russian military shows up and they get us out of our dwelling place and they put us all online and they're getting ready to shoot us all. And I do not suffer from Russophobia, right? If I had neighbors that were Russian, I would love them just the same as anybody else, right? Um, so that's has nothing to do with that. This dream is a warning. So they line us all up and they start laughing and they're speaking back and forth in their mother tongue, right? And then the general looks at me and he starts laughing and he says, um, "You Americans, you thought that we couldn't take your country, and we walked right in, and we took it easily. We didn't even try." And they were laughing, and then I started laughing. And he goes, "What are you laughing about?" And I held up an email, and I said, "Here's a copy of the email that I sent our government. That I told them you were coming, and they didn't even follow up on it or believe me." And then I started laughing, and then he started laughing, then they started laughing. The next thing you know, everybody is laughing. And mind you, all of us, got the big machine gunner staring at us with these big machine guns, and they're getting ready to turn us. Well, anyways, so they ended up letting us live. And I ended up telling the guy a detail, which I thought was strange. I said, "Hey, I read your book." And he goes, something like, "How could you have read it? It just got published." And I said, "Oh, it must have been your old one." So, whoever their general was that was leading the charge, a published author of some sort. I don't know, but I'm just throwing out that detail, right? So he allowed us to live because we thought it was just as funny as him that he walked right into our country, right? And in my mind, I was thinking to myself, like, how is this possible? How could they have just walked into our country and just, I mean, they annihilated everything. Um, so how is this possible? So the next scene would reveal it to me, right? So the next scene is I am somewhere on this long deserted highway, which I don't know where, but if I was going to make a comparison, I would say it kind of looks like Route 66 from those cartoons with the little red car, little race car dude, right? It's kind of like a setting like that, just a long highway with a little gas station here, and a little diner here, and then there's nothing for miles and miles, right? So that's what this highway looks like. And I'm looking off in the distance, and I know somehow or another that the aircrafts, just got done fogging the US. Like they went over and fogged the US. And another thing I knew in my dream was that it was some crazy cocktail, some scientifically engineered cocktail uh, of some sort, of a variation of the herpes virus. Now, this is the second time I'm dreaming this, right? And I know that anybody who has had shingles is immune to it because they already have the immunity. This is the second dream of this exact same thing twice. And I didn't even see the date of the other dream that I had, but this is like the second dream in a week, right? And the other thing that I knew in my dream, like this bit of information that was given to me, was that the day of the bioweapon attack was the exact same calendar date as the calendar date it was 72 or 73 years ago when a breakthrough was discovered as it pertains to this disease or illness or virus or whatever it is you want to call it. So that's the information that was given to me. The Holy Spirit gave me that information to begin with, right? It's some sort of herpes virus. People who have had shingles are immune to it. And the date of the attack was the exact date that there was a breakthrough um, in the research behind that virus. So, somewhere between 1948 and 1950, there was a significant breakthrough in this virus. Some doctor somewhere found out something, and whatever calendar date that was is going to be the date of the bioweapon attack. That information was given to me in my dream. So now I'm going to roll on with the dream. So this fog is coming over this hill off in the distance. And the hill it's just a small hill. And I don't remember anything really special about it. In fact, I don't even remember it having very many trees on it. So at any rate, the fog's creeping over this hill. It's probably 500 feet tall. This hill, I don't want to say a mountain range. It's not a mountain range, it's like a hill range, more like it. And it's starting to come over the hill like a fog. And I can see it cascading down on my side of the hill. And it's probably 10 miles away. And it's getting closer, right? And I'm running down this highway, trying to get to this diner because one of my kids is in the diner. And I want to get my kid, and I want to get out, right? And right as I'm running to the diner, and somehow I just knew it was a breakfast diner. And I hear a noise that I've never heard before. And I look up in the sky, and I'm going to share my screen to give you a visual. I look up in the sky, and I see a craft that looks like this. Like, it literally looks like this, except the whole thing was white. There was no blue under this. The whole thing was white. Um, and it was actually facing the opposite way. So if I could like make this image turn the other way, as I look up in the sky, I see this thing, but it's huge. It's probably 10 times bigger than a 747. This thing is gigantic, and it makes a noise that I've never heard before. And when it flies, it was flying at an angle like this because it was so big. And somehow I knew that when it got going really, really fast, it could fly regular. But at lower speeds, it had to fly like this because of the sheer size of it. So this is what I saw when I looked up in the sky. And it was flying from my right, going to my left. And then the next scene, I'm in it, and it's gigantic. I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is a very, very significantly gigantinormous freaking aircraft. So the next scene, I'm back on the ground, and I look up straight in the sky, and I see this. Something that looks like this in the sky, like a mothership. Now, granted, I don't watch movies, right? I want you to know that. Don't watch movies. My TV, living room, it's never on. We don't watch TV. This is what was in the sky. That craft was flying up to a thing that looked like this. But I was trying to find a better picture because I was looking straight up, and this thing was probably at an altitude of maybe 70,000 feet, right? I mean, it was super high up there. It was way up there. And that craft that flew by, that big craft that I showed you earlier, it was probably flying at maybe 10 to 15,000 feet. And now it was going to go up to this thing. And this thing was directly on top of me, and there was clouds around it. It's almost like it had pushed the clouds out of the way. Even though I know clouds are not that high, but or most clouds anyways. Well, anyways, this thing is in the center of a whole bunch of clouds, and it just like it just opened the sky up to it, and that strange craft was flying up to it. Now, whether that was a mothership, I don't know. Whether it was a space station, I don't know. If it was a hologram, I don't know. I don't know what it was. All I know is that big looking weird kind of jet thing looks like a shuttle kind of sort of that flies like this. That thing circled and it went up to somehow dock with that space station or whatever it was. And that's the end of my dream, right? So it seems like the enemies of this country have weaponized. This is my second dream. They've weaponized the herpes virus, and it's going to be delivered by way of aircraft over our country. And anybody who has had shingles is going to be immune to it. But because the majority of people do not, once this fog is fogged over our country, we're going to be in big trouble, like really big trouble. And the other thing too about this fog was that the reaction that people had it was a very violent reaction to whatever this weapon is, this bioweapon. The reaction was very violent. It was like the minute you inhaled it, immediately, like there was no delay whatsoever. Immediately, you started like convulsing and getting sick, and your skin just immediately started boiling, like boils. Um, it was bad. It was bad, and it was sudden, and it was everywhere. So I really didn't even want to post this dream because, like, what do you even do with it, right? All I know is this: the information was given to me that 72 or 73 years ago, there was a breakthrough in the research behind this virus. And whatever date that breakthrough was is going to be the date of the attack. That information was given to me in my dream. So that's my dream. And I hope I didn't ruin your day too much. And if you, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. But I can tell you what, that our government's going to have a very tough job um, trying to stop this thing before it happens. And you can start with the CDC and trying to find out when there was a breakthrough 72 or 73 years ago. At least at the very minimum, knowing the possible attack day could get our country ready to defend herself. I don't know. So, eyes open in California. Thank you.